6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. All that good stuff does really help out. And of course, if you do have any chart recommendations, any pairs you're looking at, trades you want to share, or any questions, drop it in the chat. We'll be happy to discuss. What's up CS Integrated? Hope you're doing good. Raheel, what is up? Hope you're doing good. So yeah, I have been in a pound yen long position since last Monday. And momentum has completely shifted today. Seeing a lot, I mean, we're seeing some weakness in pound as well, but predominantly seeing some strength on the yen. Now, I am still bullish on pound yen. I still want to be a buyer. However, with this momentum, I have trailed my stops. So I did enter there last week and my stops were somewhere around here. So I have managed to reduce about 75% of the risk there. So the risk is quite minimal right now, but I still do have a bit of risk on. But yeah, if I'm still looking for more upside, I would want price to probably look to run these lows before I look for re-entries. Because to me, again, my directional bias is stemmed from the higher time frames, and that's why I've been looking to buy the yen pairs and expecting more upside. We still do have a pretty convincing uptrend, still showing higher highs and higher lows. It's just that for the past kind of 2 weeks, we've been in this kind of range here, and it looks like we just failed to see the breakout of that range. We didn't have quite enough energy to see that breakout, get to highs, and so on and so forth. So perhaps we do see price push down and maybe tap into the gap maybe a little bit more, and that could be an interesting point for some re-entries to take it back up again. So pound yen for me is still a market which I'm bullish. I don't want to let this bearish candle here on the day dictate too much, because after all, it's just 1 day candle. The reason why I'm bullish is not because of just 2 or 3 daily candles, is the fact that we do have consistent higher highs and higher lows, and it's even backed further by higher time frames there too. So it's going to take a lot for me to shake off that bias completely. However, it will make me a bit more cautious, and because of that, I would wait for price to really push to the extremes, and a push that low would be something that would interest me, especially with that gap hovering below. So the game plan with pound yen is just let that trade do what it wants to do, have minimize risk. So worst case scenario, still walk away with a small loss. Best case scenario, it might turn around and look bullish again. Although with that momentum, it looks highly unlikely, but we'll see. But yeah, the new game plan will be see if we come a lot lower, probably to around 200, big psychological level. That could be an interesting place for price to tap into and maybe see some upside. And then I'll be a little bit more aggressive with the management, because I've been speaking about push to 207, potentially 208. But because momentum is failing, we're becoming a bit more stagnant. The reason why I was very optimistic about that level is because we had that recent breakout over here. Price wasn't an uptrend, but it was super corrective. It wasn't like a clean, healthy uptrend. And then suddenly we had that gap and a really explosive move to the upside. So I was like, okay, we've broken out this corrective phase. Maybe we're going to see a bit more momentum now, especially if we can hold above the high here. And that's what we did. But however, that momentum hasn't followed through, especially with the price action this morning. So despite that, the market is still bullish. But if I do take some longs here, I won't have the same optimism about push there, because I'm asking a lot more from the market. I mean, that move may well happen, but I'll be looking to take my profits a bit earlier and more of it as well. I wouldn't be surprised if you go into a bigger consolidation or even roll back over to after take into account both sides of the coin there. So yeah, we'll see what happens with pound yen. We'll discuss more about the yen pairs, because of course this is not just pound yen. We've seen it across the board. So is this a time to be cautious on the yen? with all this momentum, or is this just another dip for us to keep buying? Of course, we'll go through USD pairs as well. What's up, Francis? Good morning. Hope you're doing good. CS just went long 202.2 for GJ small position. Nice. So that's pretty much around where we're trading now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you did take a very similar buy back over here, didn't you? Really aggressive candle. You took the buys, you came back into the low. Nice push back up again. So it looks like you're trying to copy and paste that same idea. Let's see if it has the same effect. But yeah, I'm still bullish for pound yen. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I quite like the opportunities if we do come lower, but yeah, I'll see that trade through, and then we'll discuss. Okay, looking at the red candles, a pullback, fair enough, and current range is nice position long though. Yeah, I do think you're nicely positioned, because if this low gave us this high, you know, that's your structure. If price does take out that low, then we're probably going to head to this low. So in terms of risk, you're at the extreme basically. So it's either price is going to hold this and flip bullish, or break structure and head lower. But either which way, you're kind of at the extreme of it. So you're well positioned, especially to maximize risk to reward. Holy One, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, again, not every pullback's going to be fruitful. There's going to be a time when the market has to give back some of its gains. Looks like it might be that time at the moment now. In the DAX buy, okay, we could take a look at that as well. What's up, Bashi? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I appreciate it, my man. Yeah, guys, if you enjoy the content, drop a like, subscribe. Does really help out. Share it with friends as well. And of course, any chart recommendations, any questions, drop it in the chat, and we'll be happy to discuss. Francis, long GJ, as I woke up and saw that dip, I thought it was a good spot for today as well. Yeah, again, it depends on your outlook. If you still do have that bullish bias, you're still looking for these opportunities to catch the lows. The only scary thing is that there's a lot of momentum, so that will cause people to be a bit cautious. I'm still very bullish, but I probably won't be looking for entries until we get here, and that, of course, unless price does reverse and if that trade goes back into the profit, that'll be brilliant as well. But it's either this trade holds or I look to get involved there. So that's my take. But yeah, I'm still bullish in pound yen as well. That bearish candle hasn't necessarily changed direction. It's just some aggressive momentum opposing to where the trend has been going. But nothing's changed significantly. We haven't broken any key structure on any major time frames. So for me, the direction's still up. So I'm still actively looking to buy. How's the weather? Weather's been, I mean, it's been warm, to be honest. It's been like a consistent 20 to 25 degrees, which is a great temp. It's not too hot, not too cold. You can still walk out with a t-shirt, and you're not sweating buckets as well. Although if you do go for a long walk, you will. So it's been good in that regard, but it has been very rainy. I think this is the rainy season at the moment. So like every other day, it will rain a lot. But temperature-wise, I can't complain. Anyway, let's go through some USD pairs, see where we're at with that, and then we can go through some requests and probably some more yen pairs as well. So yeah, we'll start with the dollar. So again, I'm still not a big fan of the DXY. If you guys didn't catch the stream yesterday, I was basically saying I'm going to be a bit more cautious with the dollar this week because uncertainty in the higher time frames. I'm not too sure what price is doing. And we do have some big news as well coming out this week. So I got a feeling that, okay, we've got a lot of uncertainty with the price action. There's a big news event coming in is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. So a lot of people will probably be waiting for that announcement to, place their ideas into the market anyway. So between now and then, we probably will see not much behavior. So it's probably best to wait till after the news or even start fresh next week and see what we've got on our plate. So DXY analysis is pretty simple here. Just kind of staying away from everything inside here. Unless you're going to be like on the lower time frames, be super in and out, then you might be able to take advantage of some of the micro moves here. But I wouldn't be looking to try and force anything here, especially with the news coming out tomorrow. Looks like price came back into supply here, respected it pretty well after we respected this supply zone. After all, the market is slightly bearish. But the fact that we failed at lows here is not a good sign for the bears. We're failing to create new lows. We spiked through, then reversed. Not a good sign for the bears either, but equally not the great sign for the bulls yet, because we're still respecting areas of supply, still respecting resistance, and still putting lower highs in the market as well. So we got a lot of contradiction here. We've seen lower highs, but we're also starting to see higher lows. So who's going to win this battle? Is it going to break up or break down? We'll have to wait and see. But because direction is not clear, that's why I'm going to hold off and not try and do anything. I have been bullish down here. When we did get the pullback there, I was favoring price to have that bounce because we're coming back in demand zone. So I said at least we can make a push to this area. We might not get the breakout, but we can at least probably be pretty confident of that move. And we did get that move. Now I'm not too sure what price is doing. So yeah, analysis wise for the DXY, I don't have too much to say really. We're looking super corrective. I mean, yeah, we are looking pretty bearish intraday, but again, I wouldn't be so confident to try and push that for like a big move. So yeah, I would be very careful. Same goes for a lot of the USD pairs in that situation. For example, Euro USD as well. Again, really aggressive, failure at the highs. We did close above, but we came straight back down in the following candle. So clearly it was once a nice uptrend, but clearly now we're starting to stagnate. We are still putting in higher lows, so it's not necessarily saying, okay, we're going to reverse now. It just means the trend is starting to stagnate. It may pick up momentum. Who knows? We'll see what happens with the rates for both euro and dollar. Maybe for whatever reason we could pick up some strength and the trend's looking healthy again. But until that stage, it's difficult to say. Again, consistent lower highs here, but also higher lows too. So we're getting a contradiction there. We have to see who's going to be victorious. Is it the sellers? Is it the buyers? It's not crystal clear. So for that reason, I'll stay away. And dropping to the 4-hour chart as well. We formed the high low. We're starting to pick up momentum. Maybe intraday you might get away with some longs here. It looks like price had a nice break and we tested this zone. Nice retest. That might take you back to the high there. But again, I wouldn't be looking to try and shoot for the moon with that move. To me, it just looks really, really corrective. So again, short-term plays when the high time frames are indecisive is normally the best way to go about it, because then you can take your profits and run. You can always leave positions to run if you want to, but if high time frame direction isn't clear for whatever reason, the more you stay in that trade, the more uncertainty that does come into play, and potentially profits disappear. So yeah, Euro USD don't really have an opportunity which I'm looking at, to be honest. So not much to say there, especially if you drop intraday. Pound USD again, just a big flat range right now. Not much direction. I mean, I have been favoring pound USD to roll over, but we just haven't seen that convincing momentum come into play. We tried to continue back to lows last week. We just bounced. Potentially might follow through, but then of course we got that big level to deal with as well. So again, pound USD just not in a great place. Would I look to buy? No. And yeah, I don't think it's a great place to be looking to sell either. So just a lot of contradiction here. Nothing overwhelming in either direction. So again, just focusing on quality over quantity. Not seeing much quality there with pound. Perhaps we do find support in reverse, but even with this, we did break structure yesterday just about, but then again, we had a really aggressive drop back down there yesterday, this morning, with that pound weakness coming to play. So, I mean, this could be a higher low that does push us back up. But again, just because of the conditions, I wouldn't be looking to spend too much time worrying about those opportunities. I do think there'll be better opportunities in the market, and if there aren't, then of course I'll just leave it alone. Keep your hands firmly off the trigger and wait for a better opportunity to come. Dollar CAD has been a little bit flat as well. I mean, this one is more of an uptrend, so I can be a little bit more lenient with this one. I do think buyers make a bit more sense here because you do have that direction, which other USD pairs are lacking. But then again, you can see there's a clear change in how price is moving. We've been super bullish for the past few weeks, and now price is starting to stagnate. And I think, yeah, it's starting to stagnate. And I think we've got, do you have CAD interest rates as well? Yeah, we do. We do have, yeah, we do. We've got CAD interest rates just before USD interest rates. So you got a double whammy here with dollar CAD. You've got CAD interest rates and USD interest rates all coming into play very, very quickly. And is it worth the risk to actually just trade this, or wait till after the news has happened and then look to plot your opportunities? I think that's probably the better opportunity. But yeah, really choppy conditions here. You can see there's a clear difference in how prices have been moving over here to now having a more corrective, bigger pullback. There's a clear difference in phase. Maybe the market is still going to be bullish, but there's a clear evidence that momentum that was once here is no longer here. So we're going to have to be a bit more lenient with targets and not be so aggressive trying to shoot to the moon here. Chances are we could continue to consolidate, or even reverse as well. So dollar CAD, I think that would be a better market to try and look for USD strength on, because we do have a more predominant trend here, but equally so, I'll be careful with targets, not trying to push too far. Aussie dollar, this one is slowly heading up to that zone. I'm going to keep an eye out to see what we do. Again, conditions are not brilliant here either, but I like it because we're coming to a big level, and I'm at least looking for a reaction off that high. I'm not necessarily looking to try and shoot for the moon here back to the lows. Of course, that would be a great trade, but I'm guessing we could push into here, react, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe we do get that bigger move. Maybe it's just a higher low, but there's a good chance of a reaction at that zone, and that's what I'm going to be looking to bank on. So I don't mind Aussie dollar shorts up there. Again, that'll probably be a trade after the interest rates tomorrow as well, so don't have to worry too much about trading into that either. But yeah, from a technical standpoint, I don't mind it. It's an extremely flat market, but at least I'm trading at a big level there, so I would anticipate to see at least a reaction, and we'll see how far we can take that. New Zealand dollar, I don't mind as well. Really nice structure, lower lows and lower highs. As I've said, if we can get a pullback into this location, that would interest me for a lower high. As long as price doesn't break structure here, I would stay bearish. Yes, intraday we've kind of picked up some strength here and seen some higher highs and higher lows, so there could be some nice counter trend, long opportunities intraday. Not really what I would be looking for personally, but again, going to see what we can do in this area. If things are good, there could be some really nice swing opportunities to take it back to lows, or even just halfway down, depends how aggressive you want to be. But that is an area that does interest me. At the moment, not quite there yet, so we'll leave New Zealand dollar alone for now. But as long as we can stay below 0.58500, it does keep me bearish. And then, of course, gold and silver, really, really bearish, I must say. Yesterday closed pretty strong to the downside, and today's looking pretty bearish. Of course, we still got a good chunk of the day left, so you can't necessarily take that candle too hard, because it could look very different by the end of the day, but there's quite a clear evidence of some bearish momentum coming into play. You could potentially call this a bit of a V-shaped reversal. So yeah, it's not looking good for gold, I must say. This probably is just another pullback for us to eventually go higher, but there's a clear shift in momentum, there's a clear shift in market structure. So, we could be in this counter trend for a while. It could turn into a full-blown consolidation maybe. It could have a really deep pullback to here potentially. So, yeah, I would not be looking to try and look for swings to the upside for gold at this moment in time. I mean, I do think this is a pullback for price to eventually go higher, but a lot can happen at that time. And especially if you're more of an intraday trader, even swing, you're probably not looking to shoot for the highs straight away. You want to see price start pick up structure again, higher highs and higher lows, and then we can follow that. But yeah, for gold, I like this range here. Nice consolidation, strong breakout. Something like this would interest me over the next few days. I could definitely see a bit more downside. And of course, if I speak on silver, pretty much the same situation. Lovely consolidation, strong break to the downside. Again, something like this would interest me as well. So yeah, seeing this conviction on the higher time frames has definitely made me shift my bias. So yeah, things have changed, and especially for silver too, based on where we're trading. Just taking out the prior all-time highs, this is prime location for a pullback. Any investors in silver back down here, probably would have had that high as a quite clear target. and booked a lot of profits there. And looks like we're probably having a reaction at least of that. So yeah, silver not looking good, gold not looking good. At this moment in time, I would expect more downside. Of course, a pullback, but structure is still pointing down. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. Still kind of just pausing my bias altogether really with dollar for now, especially with big news coming out tomorrow. Again, we go through some messages. Mateke, what's up? Yes, we could take a look at oil, no problem. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing good as well. Moneybags, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Can we enter on CHF exits? Exit pound. Oh, okay, enter CHF exit pound yen. I'm still holding pound yen for the swing. I have trailed my stops closer to my entry, so I've reduced risk there. I mean, I'll go through that in a moment. I mean, I'm still very much a buyer or wannabe buyer of the yen pairs, so I'm still looking for pullback opportunities. So I'll speak on Swiss yen a lot because that's probably one of the more bullish yen pairs, but not necessarily looking for entries just yet, but I'm looking at more upside. What's up, Lighton? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're doing good. Yep, it is Tuesday. Yes, we can take a look at dollar yen, no problem. never been Luton. Just had a blast shorting gold. Nice, Matt. Payout secure. Congratulations, my man. Yeah, I mean, the thing about gold and silver, especially after these rallies, they do tend to, when it's time to fall, they do drop pretty hard. And it doesn't look like they're slowing down, to be honest. Then touch gold for 10-foot pull. Yeah, I mean, I think the speed, the aggressiveness of gold does put people off. But to be honest, it's just another market to trade. As long as you can manage your risk, you're good. I think maybe if it's the intraday which scares you, can drop a little bit higher time frame and you can work your way down if you want to, or just stick with the higher time frames. But yeah, when I first started trading gold, I was a bit apprehensive as well. If you go from trading Euro USD to gold, it's a big difference there with the speed and the power of the market. But then again, technicals are technicals. As long as you manage your risk, a loss on euro is still the same losses on gold. It's just that you can see bigger moves a lot quicker, and that could be used to your advantage if done correctly. So I do recommend to trade gold, but of course you don't have to. And if you are scared of that kind of volatile nature, go to the high time frames and start there. But yeah, in terms of pound yen, I'm not looking to exit just yet. I'm just gonna let the market take me out if it does want to. I've reduced risk underneath the lows there. My initial risk was underneath the lows around here somewhere, so I have reduced it quite a lot. So I don't mind taking the small loss there. I mean, the entry was still more or less where I wanted to be into the market, and we just haven't seen the follow through. We did break structure here, which is what I was counting for, but momentum just didn't really kick in. So yeah, because of that, we'll see what happens with the market as it approaches these lows. But if it does take me out, I'll look for some re-entries down here, because I always want to be at the extremes, especially when the market is starting to be a little bit choppy and consolidate. I want to be at the lows, so that's where I'll look for re-entries with pound yen. Regarding Swiss yen, but of course you can exit if you want to. Regarding Swiss yen, again, still very bullish as well. If I start with the daily chart, overall still pointing up, momentum is still up, still seeing higher highs and higher lows. Yes, we are at all-time highs, so there's always that possibility for a bigger pullback, and yes, at some stage it will probably happen. It could be happening now, but until proven otherwise, I'll still try and buy this actively. So dropping to the 4-hour chart, as we have swept the highs here and created new highs, now I'm looking for price to pull back, maybe settle a little bit, and they'll look for a long something of that nature there. So I'm not looking to buy just yet. I would have looked to buy Swiss yen if it did break highs here aggressively. I would look for a quick break and retest intraday to take advantage of that momentum, because we had this breakout here. So I was wondering, okay, maybe momentum's just gonna spike here, and if you do break highs aggressively, that is something just really taking advantage of that momentum. But since we failed at highs, we've seen some momentum coming back down. We might go into another one of this type of phase. So I don't want to be buying straight away. I want to let price settle and then kind of spot that entry before price moves up, and then I can trade it back to highs and so on and so forth. So yeah, Swiss yen not quite ready yet for a buy, at least from my analysis and how I like to take my trades. So I'm going to be patient with that. But yeah, the market is still very bullish. Higher time frame still pointing up, until I see something on the higher time frames that tells me, okay, maybe it's time to pause at least. I'll let you guys know, and I'll pause my bias. But for now, still very bullish, still looking to take price high. So yeah, no entry just yet, but keep an eye. Maybe the next few days, 2-3 days, something can set up. In terms of, I'll go through oil and dollar yen. So in terms of oil, looking pretty bearish today, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it looks like we are holding on to this level. So yeah, I've been pretty bearish in oil, and I said I'm treating this bullish move as a pullback, and that is exactly what I am viewing it as. And since we are staying below this level, at least for now, I'm still very much going to keep maintaining that that bearish bias, looking at this as another pullback. We've been super consistent with these lower highs, and to me, it looks like price is putting in another on the retest of that level. So my expectation for oil would be something like this over the next few days, few weeks. So I am looking for a lot more weakness. And if you're looking to trade this, I kind of like how price came back to reject it. It's a nice wick to the upside. We saw a lot of momentum. Price came back to retest, and now we're seeing more momentum. You can scale right down potentially, even lower than the hourly chart, and look for some pullbacks. It's about another lower high forming, something like that. Or you can even just look to enter on this candle here. You still have a decent stop loss and a decent risk reward. Probably looking at maybe like maybe almost a 1 to 2, probably a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 back into the low here. So you don't necessarily have to go so finite with your entries. You can still utilize the 4-hour chart. Might not be the best entry in the world, but it allows you to have a bit of wiggle room with the trade, and not think too much about the entry. But yeah, as long as we stay below 61.8, I remain bearish. If we do break back above that, then I will pause that bias. Because at that point, it looks like we're having a V shape, and we could see a lot more upside there. But of course, that's not the case just yet. So for now, still pretty bearish on oil. And in terms of dollar yen, yeah, dollar yen, another market, another yen pair which has failed at highs as well. So I was looking for price to kind of break the highs this week, then hope to see some opportunities on a pullback, a retest of the high, and then bet on the continuation. But again, since price is failing at the high, that's not a great sign for the buyers, I must add, because again, the trend is still quite corrective. It's not like we have seen an aggressive uptrend and we've been following that. It's just being really corrective. We've seen this recent up move, and at the moment, it looks like price is just respecting the high of the channel. I was kind of hoping to see price do something like this week and pick up some momentum there. But that is a really strong rejection to me. And we'll see how the daily candle closes, but potentially could be a bit of a double top there. And that could warrant a sell back to the lower end of the trend line, which originally is where I did want to buy dollar yen. When we're having this pullback here, I said, if we can come fill the gap, retest the low of the trend line, I think that could be a smart place for a swing back to high. Didn't see that happen. Could see price make that move. So in terms of opportunities for dollar yen here, well, if you're intraday, you can look for some pullbacks along the way. So as you can see, we're picking up momentum here. What you could be looking for is like, okay, if price sees another break to the downside, I can bet on the continuation of the next move, because you're anticipating this to be a double top. And if this is going to be a double top, this is where you expect price to at least get to. So you're just taking advantage of momentum on the way down there. Because if you want to find entries there, the boat is kind of sailed for that. So now you're kind of looking for more intraday opportunities to ride the momentum along the way. And if you're looking for long opportunities, well, the break of the high is still very much on. We need that to happen. Or if you're looking for a swing, you still do have the opportunity there. But yeah, failed to get the breakout there, so definitely going to pause with that bullish bias. A big part of me being bullish on dollar yen was the continued break of highs, but we haven't got that anymore. So yeah, very, very cautious with the longs. And if anything, intraday shorts make the most sense now. Seagull's a nice discount to buy. Yeah, I think so, but I mean, again, I expect this to be a pullback. I don't know if it's a necessarily discount where I would look to buy. It depends with your intention, really. Are you looking to buy and hold for the next few months? Are you looking to buy because you're expecting it to at least pull back a bit now? Because the thing is with gold, this was the area I was going to keep a close eye on. As price is trading below it, the next kind of big notable area for me is down there. So yes, it's at a discount in terms of, okay, from highs, price is down 11%, which is pretty good. But in terms of market structure, I kind of would want price to be there, which would be a pretty big drop if we were to see that happen. That would be a 20% drop there in value. But in terms of market structure, it would make a lot of sense. So yeah, I do have the same impression that, okay, gold is pushing down to eventually pull back to highs. But how that looks, I have no idea. We could very much go into another one of these opportunities where it just kind of consolidates or some type of counter trend, and then it eventually picks up in maybe like a few weeks time. But yeah, I'm not looking to buy gold just yet. Okay, where was it? Yes, we could take a look at GA and Euro Aussie as well. LFTJ, we could take a look at Euro Swiss too, no problem. What's up, Dimar? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. See why people go for 15 pips with big lots. 11 pips holding jumps, I just mean nonsensical. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the process though, because if you treat it in isolation, you kind of think, okay, it didn't mean too much. I should have just took the profits instead of going for 11 pips. But in terms of profitability, it might be more profitable to try and hold for those extra pips, or in terms of manage risk in some way, in terms of like trading a stop or something. Because if you do that over time, you exit those 11 pips early, it will cut your winners down over time, bit by bit. And if you don't cut your losers down too, it actually reduces your profitability. Maybe you do win a little bit more, but is the net expectancy different? So I would say, yeah, if you do have only a small margin to go to your profit, there's no point in taking a full loss on that. You definitely want to kind of manage that somehow in terms of, okay, maybe I take a little bit or I trail stops a bit. If you're very close to your profit, there's no need for that to turn into a loss. So I think, yeah, in terms of management, yeah. But there's always that kind of situation, because if you do have, like, for example, a trade like this, and then let's say price gets 80% of the way to your target, then it reverses, then you're like, okay, well, I should have just closed the trade instead of try to hold for the extra move. But then there'll be a situation where price goes 70% to your profit, then you're like, yeah, I should have closed it, and then 60, and then you're taking your profits too early just because of that extra move there. And then sometimes price will actually go and hit the target anyway. So yeah, that's just kind of where the management comes into play, and how aggressive you want to be that. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. I was in a trade similar to that with dollar CAD last week. Okay, so let's go through Euro Swiss, GA, and Euro as well. So yeah, with pound Aussie. So yeah, looking pretty bearish. So we're coming back to the low here now, and probably he's going to take it out. I mean, been pretty consistent with the lower highs. I mean, this level's held very, very well, and now looks like price is putting in lower highs, and of course we've been putting in lower lows. So because of that, if you can probably find some quick intraday shorts, you might be able to take advantage of that drop. But of course, being careful, because this is definitely an area where a lot of buyers have entered the market, a considerable move to the upside there. So not the best location for like any swing shorts. But if you're like very intraday 15-minute chart, you can look for another pullback here and trade that move, and it's not such a big deal because you can be in and out. You don't have to be holding for such a long period of time. So intraday, I do think there's a bit more shorts to be had with pound Aussie. Then if you're looking for longs, I'd wait for this to go and see if we can recover. There could be some nice buys beyond that as well, because after all, pound Aussie is still very much in a long-term uptrend. It's just we have been bearish, in this kind of condition here. So it's like, okay, is this just a pullback for us to continue higher, or are we legit, looking to turn around? We don't know. But what I can say is that there probably will be a good chance we do see a bit of upside after we do take out that low. So intraday, you can take advantage of those buys, and equally, there's probably a little bit more juice to the downside there for intraday sells too. So depending on your bias, you've probably got some nice opportunities in both directions. In terms of Euro Aussie, same case with this one, but I just don't think it is as clean because pound Aussie has that natural kind of downside momentum, whereas Euro Aussie is quite flat to me. So there's no kind of overriding direction to the market. Yes, on the high time frames there is, but since mid-June we have been very flat, so there's no momentum to really take advantage of, to be honest. So yeah, Euro Aussie, I would just say keep it simple. Longs at the lows, shorts at the highs until we get a breakout, and then if we do get a breakout to the downside, well, I'll look at this low. Get a break to the upside, I'll look at this high, and just keep it simple. If you break one level, probably going to hit the next one. If you break the support level, probably going to hit the next support, and that's most likely the level will probably go and drift to. So yeah, unless you're looking for like mean reversion at the highs and lows, you're looking for breakouts, looking for momentum, looking to trend follow, then yeah, you want to see price clear those areas. I wouldn't look for opportunities in the middle. The only reason why pound Aussie looks a bit better is because it has that natural slant to it. No problem, young learner, happy to help. We shall go for Euro Swiss next as well. We can take a look at pound yen. Yeah, money bags. I just had a look at Swiss yen. I quickly go through it again, but I did just analyze it probably about like 5-10 minutes ago. Francis, are you part of Trader Nick? And if so, do you use the Edge Finder? No, I'm not a part of Trader Nick. He's another trader who streams is trading on YouTube, and we do collab, but I'm not a part of him. And no, I don't use the Edge Finder. Oh yeah, of course. 11 to 15% is nice, to be honest. Only using 0.1 to hold, but maybe a swing to it. Okay, fair enough. That's an interesting idea of looking at things. I mean, it could definitely pick up, to be honest. It could definitely pick up, but yeah, I'm just not quite convinced yet with the longs on gold or silver. Yeah, I saw that early one. Euro pound, lovely move, especially the pound weakness. Euro pound rocketed to the upside. Yeah, I mean, again, some trades are going to shoot past your take profit. Some trades are going to hit your take profit and then reverse straight away. And some trades are going to get, very close and reverse there too. It's always difficult to kind of, pinpoint exactly where trades can get to reverse. Because with a trade, you're always looking for the meat of the move. You don't want to let hindsight blind you, because you'll see some trades that just go on forever, and that will skew kind of how you see your trades, which is why it's good to record them, because then you can build up an arsenal and see, okay, well, a lot of my trades do continue further. Maybe I should hold a little bit longer, or maybe a lot of my trades don't continue further. They reverse quicker than I expect. Maybe I should lock in gains a little bit earlier and manage risk a bit tighter. Okay, so let's go through Euro Swiss, and I'll take a look at Pound Yen. So yeah, Euro Swiss, very flat. I'm still waiting to see if price can take out this low here, which is the all-time low, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's the all-time low. So, I mean, the market's been quite stagnant. It's been a very, very kind of weak bearish trend, but it has been flat for quite some time as well. But I do think this low is likely to at least get spiked. You can see how frequent price does do this, even back over there. We take out the low, they have a big recovery, take out the low, big recovery. Even here, just about took out the low, really big recovery, kind of looking for that same pattern to repeat. And I do think it's pretty likely to happen, especially with the momentum we've seen in recent days. So with Euro Swiss, because of how flat it is, I do actually think this is not a bad place for a buy, even though you're kind of counter trend. I think based on how the market is moving, it actually makes a lot of sense. In terms of kind of more intraday price action, really, really corrective trend. Difficult to find a good trade on, to be honest. I mean, I did speak about the retest of this consolidation, but it just doesn't look great, to be honest. It's because a break and retest the consolidation, you like it when price, consolidates and has like a distinct breakout. Then the pullbacks make a lot more sense for the retest. When it's kind of like a consolidation that kind of just slowly bleeds, well, it's kind of like, where is the consolidation really? And that's kind of the conditions you got here with Euro Swiss. So it's not the best break and retest. I mean, this level's quite nice. Considerable amount of retest, pretty obvious level. It's already had a break and retest over there. That could still be a smart place for at least like a short-term play. Doesn't have to be a big swing, but you can probably expect to see a reaction off that level. But in terms of the longs, you got like a decisive area to buy from. So if the market does dip below this area, then recovers it, then you're kind of looking for the retest to confirm that we're back above support, and then you can probably find some longs off that to then take advantage of the pullback. But yeah, Euro Swiss, not really trading in any area of value. I'll say that looks like the smartest place for a short, and this looks like the best place for a long. In here, it kind of looks very noisy to me, and just a lot of kind of chaos. And not really seeing any kind of overwhelming momentum. So not a big fan of Euro Swiss price action, to be honest. Not a big fan. Okay, so we can go through Holy One, you said you were in a DAX position. We'll go through that as well. I'll go through Pound Yen first. A lot of people talking about Pound Yen. Once it buys at 38.80, but I got swerved. Bear in mind, you're trying to snipe entry for a swing. Yeah, I suppose that's just the nature of your intradayness, Bashi. If you kind of had that repeated behavior, looking for like a really refined entry for your day trades, and then you take that to swing trade. I mean, it can be very beneficial if you can get like a very refined risk for a swing trade, because it just multiplies your risk to reward, by a lot. So it becomes very, very lucrative if you can do that well. But of course, your room for error is just so minimal. It means that you're going to take a lot more losses. So if you're going to do that, I would say reduce risk because of the more room for error. And the thing is, you could even be right. You might even get like a really nice refined entry. But the thing is, because trying to capture a big swing, back to highs, there's a lot that needs to go right for that to happen. So there could be a situation where you do catch a nice bounce and a pretty decent move, but then eventually, price does that. You don't get quite to your targets either. So how you manage it's going to be very important too. But of course, if you do catch that move that does run to highs with a very tight stop loss, You know, even if you do take like 5 losses in a row because of it, you know, this probably eats up all those losses and then some. So it's definitely trying to play the long game, and that kind of, okay, if I get it right once, yeah, it pays for so many trades and a bucket loads more. So I do get it, but it's just you have to be persistent. Anyway, okay, so yeah, I'm in pound yen. Yeah, not going too well at the moment. Momentum has picked up against me, but I'm going to hold the position. I don't have the full risk on I had when I did get into the position, so I don't mind. And to be honest, I do like where I've entered and the breaking retest we've had as well. It's just that the breakout of these highs here has just been so lackluster. Momentum failed, and now we've had this considerable move against me. So if this trade doesn't work out and price does take me out of the position, I will actually look at some re-entries down here with the same play in mind. Eventually I'm looking for a push there, but I will be looking to take my profits a little bit sooner, in terms of partial profits sooner, just because, yeah, I can't be as certain that price will get there anymore. We're taking more time in the consolidation, momentum's failing. You might get a bounce here, but it might just be a bounce because we're stuck in a bit of a range, and price could very much roll back over. So I'm not going to be as aggressive with targets or with the buys in this case now for pound yen. If you're looking to trade it, I do like this area here, so I would wait to see if we can get there. You've got a bit of a gap here, price could let's go and, you know, tap into and fill, take out this wick low. That could be a nice little reversal off the back of that. So I think that's a smart location for a buy. And of course, you still do have that predominant uptrend in your favor too. So you're still taking advantage of what price has been doing for the past few weeks. Still in that direction. You're still trading from a key area where price is likely to bounce from anyway. So there is a lot of positives with this trade idea. It's just, okay, if we're still going to bet on the same move, you know, you're going to be asking for a lot of trouble. So you probably want to take your profits a bit sooner. But pound yen, that's still very much the play I'm looking at. And just a quick browse through some of the yen pairs as well. I mean, again, Swiss yen. The 3 yen pairs I was very bullish on this week was pound yen, Swiss yen, and euro yen. And that is still the case. Swiss yen hasn't budged. You know, you don't want to get too drawn in by just a single candle. You know, if the reason you're bullish is because of this uptrend here, well, then one bearish candle doesn't really do anything to change that. You know, you still want to anticipate that to be a pullback until proven otherwise. If price, you know, picks up momentum and we see 2-3 candles breaking aggressively to the downside and start to take out this low here, even that doesn't change big significance, but it might make me say, okay, maybe we're going to be a bit more cautious, and if I do get into a buy, I might not target high straight away. I might just target like a bit of a mean reversion opportunity and maybe hold a little bit more if it gets back to highs. But I'll still be looking to try and buy. So Swiss yen for me is still very bullish, still actively looking for buying opportunities. We'll see what we can do at the break and we test the high. But yeah, still looking for longs there. And euro yen too. This one, still very bullish too. As you can see, quite a clear trend. You know, why wouldn't you be bullish with that market there? I mean, this one did technically see highs, but not a really convincing uptrend. Where's it? Oh, my mouse just disappeared there. Not a very convincing uptrend, to be honest. So, not convincing breakout. I mean, not uptrend. The uptrend is convincing. It's just that we didn't like to see an aggressive close above that high. But despite that, still a very bullish market as well. So again, treating this as a pullback for another high low to eventually continue. So still actively looking to buy euro yen, still actively looking to buy Swiss yen, pound yen. The yen pairs, which I'm not really looking to trade, like I said, dollar yen. This one's more of a sluggish trend. Not really seeing much momentum, failing at highs there too. You know, this is an ascending channel. We could see a pushback there, especially with the uncertainty with the USD right now. You know, we very much could see that. So although the yen pairs do predominantly move in the same direction, dollar yen just isn't showing me the same quality in terms of opportunity. CAD yen as well. And again, especially with oil being weak, and I'm forecasting oil to still be weak. Is it the best to be looking to try and buy CAD against the yen? Probably not, and especially when the trend is really choppy and arguably in a bit of a consolidation right now. So not a yen pair, which I like, and Aussie yen. I mean, this has been a better trend, to be honest. Pullbacks have been pretty deep compared to what we've seen with Swiss and Euro and Pound. So that is a slight downturn, but to be honest, it's not such a bad trend. Aussie yen's not a bad one to keep an eye. So again, for this one, still has a good chance of taking out that high there. But we do have this area to watch out for. In Pound and Euro and Swiss yen's case, we don't really have some big supply to watch out for. So yeah, yen pairs, although we have looked pretty bearish on the day, I don't think it's time to panic. A good metric to look at is the yen basket, and to me the yen basket is still pointing very much to the downside as well. Even if I go to the weekly chart, we've technically had a closure below this low here too. We had one last week, so momentum is still down. The trend is still predominantly down as well. So looking for some weakness on the yen is not a bad idea. Of course, things can change, but this bullish candle doesn't necessarily do that. If something like this was to happen, yeah, of course, something big has changed, especially if we take up this high. Then yeah, I would definitely look to flip that bias, or definitely look to pause at the very least. But until I see something like that, I'm gonna stay with the trend, and if we keep taking out lows, we probably will find ourselves eventually back here, and that means pound yen, Swiss yen, euro yen still have a lot more upside to give. So yeah, the focus is still very much looking for longs, but just being patient. Okay, so we'll go through pound Swiss. We can take a look at gold quickly as well. What do you call intraday? To be honest, intraday is technically anything below the daily chart. But to me, I'd say intraday is like hourly and below. Yeah, I mean, technically it is below the daily chart, so even the full hours is intraday, to be honest. But I don't really see the 4 hours intraday, but it is. But yeah, unless you're talking about like a intraday style of trading, which means you kind of look for trades where you're going to be in and out of the day. Like a Siamese twin. Yeah, not quite. Only what about your family girlfriend? I really want to know about it because of you. Appreciate it, Buddy Bags. I mean, I guess we could maybe do like a separate video, more about like a life video. I could kind of do that in like a day in a life. But yeah, I try to keep the streams more Forex based, Money Bags. But I do appreciate the concern. Much love to you as well. Euro yen, New Zealand yen, yes, we can take a look at those. Try and take a little further. Okay, let's go through the DAX and take a look at pound CHF2 and gold. So yeah, the DAX, let's see. Ooh, okay. I mean, again, the DAX is still overall very bullish, but we are definitely in a bit of a flat situation right now. I would say one key thing to note is that we are still just about continuous with these high lows. So it looks like there is still a slight, sort of action like this in play. It's not like a perfect range where prices, seeing 100% move from low to high. There is a slight push, and of course, there is a very strong uptrend at play. So you do have that instinctive idea that prices are likely to break to the upside. So yeah, in terms of the DAX, not my favorite condition right now to be looking for a buy. If I am going to look to buy in these conditions, I want to be like really down low. I know with you, Holy, when you're just looking for momentum back to the prior high. So I'm not sure if you're looking for a push to this high or this high here. Let us know. Try and take a little further. 24,582. Okay, you're looking around here somewhere. Argentine Brett has bought them from low candle. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I can see the slope there that we're starting to pick up. Momentum starting to pick up. It's just conditions are quite flat. So you're more prone to getting like a bit of whipsaw action in these conditions. But I do expect predominantly the buyers to win this battle and the higher trend to take control at some point. But you know, with these conditions, you might get that first before it does happen. I would suggest though a nice trade that probably does fit your plan well is if price can start to break above this and pull back. I think the longs after that will look really good back to, you know, this high or even that high. So I think that would be a nice trade. You know, maybe if this trade plays out well, you can look for like a second entry to try and take it back to the high there. But yeah, it just is a bit flat, so that's why I have a little bit of heebie-jeebies. But I mean, I do expect the buyers to eventually win, and of course, if you can break the high there, well, then the trend's back in motion. You can probably expect to see a similar range to this on a breakout. Could take us 26k, 26.5. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the old DAX. We'll go through pound Swiss next. Then we take a look at some other yen pairs as well. Appreciate it, Moneybags. Yes, we can look at UK 100 as well, no problem. How much profit do you let your trades get better breaking even or taking partial? Good question. I would say it depends on the opportunity, because I try to maximize the trade for the situation. So if I'm in a really clean trend, then I would try to minimalize, there we go, couldn't say the word, my partial taking, because the whole point, if the trend is good, is that you want to use that trend, you want to use that momentum of that trend to your advantage. And you know, if there's like a clear uptrend in the market, you know, as a retail trader, you're just looking to try and buy and take advantage of that, you know, of that prevailing wind. So wait, does prevailing mean for you or against you? I think I used that incorrectly. You guys get what I mean. You try and take advantage of that wind in your favor. So in this case, I'm not trying to take partials too quickly. I'm trying to let the trade run, and I'm trying to go for bigger targets as well. And in terms of when things are a little bit more flat, so for example, let's say if there still is an uptrend, but it's a bit more corrective, like kind of what GJ's doing, then, you know, I can still take buys, but I'm going to be a little bit quicker with my profits here, because there's not as much momentum in my favor. So I can't be confident that price will just rip to my favor, because the conditions aren't favorable for that. And typically in mean reversion, when you're kind of trying to buy dips, you have to be quite careful, because market can continue to consolidate or, you know, push deeper. The fact that trend following is, you know, quite, you know, profitable in trend conditions is because you have that momentum, you're taking advantage. So to answer your question, when I'm seeing a lot of momentum and the trend is looking really strong, I normally take a little bit partials at the next level, which is normally between 1 to 2R. Then I kind of let the rest run to extended targets, which I have in a higher time frame. When it's a bit more choppy environments, I still might have a slight trend in my favor, but it's a bit more choppy. I try to lock in some gains around 1R and start to trust stops a bit earlier too. So in terms of percentage, I'd say like when the trend's in my favor, like 25%. If it's not in my favor or very, very light, then I could take as much as 50. Depends on the situation. If I feel like momentum is a bit more, I might take a little bit less, but around the 50% mark. But yeah, I believe in terms of maximizing the opportunity, because especially when you look back over your trades, you can see that, okay, every trade is a little bit different. Some trades work a little bit better, and maybe the environment is different for it to work better. And then you're going forward, you want to do your best to try and take advantage of that. And sometimes it's a bit choppy, and you're going to have to, you're not going to trade the same choppy market as you did when you're trading the market with momentum. It doesn't make sense to do it. So you're going to have to change things up, or just focus on momentum. No problem, happy to help. So yeah, with pound Swiss, again, I actually really like pound Swiss in terms of opportunity because it's a market which I do forecast to keep falling for some time. I'm looking for this low to go. Of course, if you look at already on the weekly chart, if you look at the big uptrend here, uptrend, downtrend, I'm getting my words mixed up today. In terms of the big downtrend, the market's been consistently falling since quite some time. So the odds of us heading back to this low is pretty high. So as a swing trader, it just means sell the rallies. If price pushes up, there's a good chance it's going to form a lower high and come back down to at least take out that low at some point in time. That could still take a few months to play out, to be honest. But predominantly, that's probably where we're heading. But a key thing to keep an eye out is this big level here, because we've been trying to push lower, but this level has held very well. So if this can break, that's where I do think momentum will pick up, as long as we don't break back above. And yeah, shorts back down there look good. I won't be trying to hold a trade all that way. That's a really big move. But I know that I can probably look for like 2, 3, 4 entries along the way and really maximize the opportunity. So it looks like we are getting the breakout. It's not the cleanest breakout you ever see. It's not like we've had a ginormous candle closing below, which would be nice. And I would still say conditions are really, really choppy here. So yeah, I'm not so keen just to start shorting straight away. But if momentum can pick up, then yeah, I wouldn't mind looking for some pullbacks. And again, that's what I'm expecting price to get to. So pound CHF, I am pretty bearish. We are trading now below pretty key support. My only problem is that we're looking really fatigued right now, and I kind of do expect us to have some type of pullback before maybe we do really see the continuation, unless we just drop for whatever reason. So yeah, pound CHF for me is a market which I'm only looking to sell. A lot of downside opportunity. We're below key level. If we stay below and start to see momentum pick up, it would be a market which I do start to look to trade. For now, it's just a market which I'm keeping at the back of my mind because there's a lot of opportunity, but just it's not quite shaped up yet for me to short it, at least for a swing trade. Intraday, you can get out, in and out. There's a lot of short-term downside moves. You can take advantage of that. But if you're looking for like a swing for a few days even, not the best conditions right now. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at dollar yen on the weekly LFTJ, no problem. Okay, yeah, only take to the first high. Yeah, I feel like another losing hundreds and hundreds for the sake of trying to get all the way up. Just do my usual format, next high safer. Yeah, I mean, it depends on your situation, what you're looking for, because you could trade that way in terms of just back to the first high, take your profits and run, and then you could look for the bigger trades as well. And the funny thing is, the profitability of people doing those two different styles could be very, very similar. At the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, end of the year, in terms of the success rate and the pips, the total pips, it could be very, very similar. It's just that the one who's looking for the bigger moves will have a lot more losers and will rely on that big win to get the ship moving. But in your style, taking the profits a bit earlier means you're going to win more and lose less, and you're going to rely on that win rate to keep the ship moving as well. So there's two different ways to look at it. I would say taking your profit at the first high, or you're just sooner, not looking for the big home run, is probably a little bit. I think in terms of just consistency and just even psychologically, I think it is a lot easier to do, because trying to go for the route of holding to the bigger profit, I do think is psychologically a bit harder, and that could cause more room for error, because you need that big win to keep you going every now and again. And if you mess up or you miss that big win, you don't take the trade, that could skew your trading as well. So there's a little bit more room for error there, and the difficulty of the lower win rate could play in your mind too. So you need to know what you're doing. But then again, the profitability of both styles could be very similar at the end. So I think it's just whatever floats your boat, really, and stick to it and get good at it, really. Yeah, exactly. Very high probability. Exactly. You're going to get this consistency in terms of winners. You're not shooting for the moon. Just want to get back to high. You're out. I fully understand that. Okay, so we'll take a look at dollar yen on the weekly. If I've missed the pair out, let me know. I feel like I might have done that. I looked at pound CHF, didn't I? Yeah, if I have missed out a pair someone's requested, let me know. But I'll go through dollar yen on the weekly. What's up, Malik? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're doing good. I'll go through gold as well. Yeah, looking for sales in gold. Retest of 39.4164. Okay, cool. I mean, pretty much what I'm looking at. I don't know if it's the exact price, but I think we're looking at the same idea. Andre, pound USD slowly coming down to the 0.25 cut. What's the reaction for pound USD? Coming to the 0.25 cut. What's the reaction for USD? Are you talking about the reaction after the cut, or what's the reaction now leading to it? Because leading to it, I'm not expecting much, to be honest. I mean, let me have a look at the news today. Yeah, not much going on today. It looks like price probably will wait for the news tomorrow. So in terms of price action today, I don't think you're expecting much, to be honest. You're more so waiting for the rates, and then there are probably going to be some nice opportunities that follow. Let's take a look at that's the one I missed out, UK. Apologies, Jesse. I'll take a look at UK 100. Actually, I'll do that first. Okay, so with this one, we do have a pretty consistent uptrend. Another strong week last week as well. Momentum looks pretty good. Drop into the daily chart. Momentum looks pretty good there as well. What price are you trading at? 9.7. You got 9.750 there. 9.750 there to watch out for. You've got the big 10k mark over there. That might be a bit of a draw. And you passed 9.5. So yeah, looking really bullish, and the only plan of action would just be looking to buy the dips. You don't really want to be doing anything else. We are seeing some big pullbacks, to be honest. So as price does take out a high, we do have a bit of consistency, and then eventually we go through a pretty big pullback. We've done the same here, taking out the high. I think again intraday buys look good. We might then eventually go through the bigger pullback, so watch out for that, because that is on the horizon. And kind of done the same thing beforehand as well. Took up the high, bit more upside, big pullback. Took up the high, bit more upside, big pullback. So I would suggest, if you're looking to trade the FTSE, keep it intraday for now, because we are trading at fresh highs and the market might want to go for that bigger pullback soon. So waiting for a breakout and then looking for some intraday pullbacks. That way you don't have to look for such a big move for a decent profit. You can still look to trail and see how far you can take it. Like I said, you got 97.50 here. That's a big cycle level. Keep an eye on. Then yeah, if we do get that bigger pullback, we'll discuss that as well, because that'll be a better opportunity for a swing opportunity to plot another high low, then look for the next big swing. But for now, yeah, I just favor some intraday pullbacks and some more upside there. Anywho, we'll go through dollar yen on the weekly, then we'll take a look at gold and pound USD as well. US 30, Samuel would add that to the list, no problem. Yes, I do have a live trade on pound yen at the moment. Not moving too well. I mean, I had this since last week, so pretty much all my profits disappeared with 3-4 bearish candles there. Trading more or less at my entry right now, but we'll see if we can hold that. I have reduced risk. My risk was there, now it's there. So worst case scenario, I do take a smaller loss there. But I'm still pretty bullish on this pair, so I will hold out. And if I do get stopped out, I'll look for re-entries down here. But yeah, only pound yen on the cards for me at the moment. So yeah, dollar yen weekly. Let me start afresh. So dollar yen weekly, I mean, it's a very grindy move up, and we are trading in that area where a lower high could form. So it's always a very questionable area right now. High, lower high, yeah, possible lower high there as well. So there is some possibility to the downside. Not only are we in that channel, but we are testing a bigger trend line. I would say one thing about the weekly. The weekly is quite flat. We were in a very clear-cut uptrend, but since then it has weakened. We're seeing some deep pullbacks. We're seeing failure to get back to the prior high. You know, another corrective bullish move. So we are weakening. You could argue we're trading some resistance here to our left there as well. So it's a bit of an awkward place in that regard too. You know, maybe price does go for a bit of a dip here. I would say the biggest tell of that would be, if it's the daily chart, would be, you know, if this double top does come into play, a big push down, then you can see probably a continuation there. Of course, I'll probably watch out as soon as you come back into this low, because we do have this bullish trend line to watch out for as well. But yeah, from a weekly standpoint, there's not like a clear-cut opportunity, I would say. I would say, yes, we're coming to an area where we could see some friction, but it's not like I would necessarily guarantee us to drop here. After all, you know, this uptrend's still in play. We're still holding support. It wouldn't be too surprising to see momentum just eventually pick up again. So yes, coming to a bit of a counter trend line. Let's see if it does hold. I think the break of this counter trend line would be pretty big. If we can break that, then you're looking at a pretty clean sell back into this support level, and just pullbacks along the way become a really good outlook. But yeah, just an indecisive place right now for the yen, for dollar yen. Might be some nice intraday shorts there, but I wouldn't look for anything too crazy. Jesse, thank you. I agree. Looks nice for the upside. Yeah, I agree. Healthy market. Just take advantage of what the market is doing. No need to overcomplicate things. Livia, good morning. Hope you're well. Aussie dollar. Yes, we'll add that to the list as well. First, I shall take a look at gold, pound, the Dow Jones, and then we shall go through Aussie dollar as well, which is one of the more interesting USD pairs that I'm looking at. Most USD pairs I don't want to touch right now. But yeah, in terms of gold, extremely bearish. We had not only a consolidation, but the break of the consolidation as well, which for me has definitely set the tone. So we've had a ginormous uptrend, really aggressive bearish candle. We started the pause. Is this a higher low forming, or is price going to be bearish? We get a strong break yesterday's close. Today's looking pretty bearish, but of course we can't read too much into that because the day candle's still live. You know, things can change. But momentum is picking up for the bears. We're starting to break through support on our left as well. So at least intraday, intra-week, I'm bearish on gold. I do think this overall is just a pullback for us to eventually go back to highs. But I don't have like a clear thought process or a clear level apart from this big zone here, which I'd be happy to start buying gold. So although I still think this is just a big dip, it's not a situation where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just waiting to start buying. If anything, I'm actually looking to keep selling. As long as that trend continues, then when I do see price break structure again, then okay, I'll be happy with some buys. We can talk about, you know, maybe price getting back to the high again. For me now, this is definitely a bearish market. You can look at that as a big inverse V-shaped pattern, which again, reversal pattern as well. So gold shorts to me look the best play. Again, I wouldn't be looking for like a huge short. It's just okay if we do get a decent pullback. You know, trading back to the prior low for me is a pretty smart trade. Anything beyond that, you're asking for a little bit of trouble. But I pull back to retest that range around just above 4K. Looks pretty good to me. And silver, you know, giving us pretty much the same price action there as well. So yeah, silver equally so. I like the shorts there too, and I quite like where silver's trading on the higher time frames. We just wick through this high, could see a pretty big pullback. What happened last time we did this for silver? A pretty big pullback to the downside. Now I'm not saying again we're guaranteed to do that, but it wouldn't be such a shock to me to see price start pushing back down now for silver. And there could be some nice intraday opportunities to take that back down. Okay, so yeah, we'll go through Pound USD next, US 30. Then I'll take a look at Aussie dollar for Libya. Oil profits disappeared. That was a huge move. Only went to the high, missed by 11 pips, lost everything. But you got in perfectly at the bottom when they was crossed down. Yeah, I mean that's the pain of looking for the bigger move. You're gonna get situations where you do catch a nice move, and then it does come back against you. It's just it's a part of the game, really, because then you will catch some moves where you get in at the bottom and you catch it all the way to like a big high, and you walk away with some really nice profits. You know, to get to that stage, you're going to have to take situations where it goes halfway and goes against you. Of course, in hindsight, you're like, okay, yeah, I wish I just took the profits. I wish I just took the profits here. You know, I mean, anywhere, to be honest, high here or as price start to slow down. But the thing is, you know, if price did go and do this, then you would be like, oh yeah, I should have taken the profits there, because, you know, that win there would have paid for, you know, a lot of potential losers, and that there could be a big drive in your P&L. So it's a give and take sort of situation. If you're looking for big moves, expect to be punished when momentum drops, and of course expect to be rewarded every now and again with some nice wins. If you're looking for the more kind of short-term move, expect to be rewarded quite a lot, but not big in terms of the risk you're taking. But you have those more consistent winners. But yeah, that's the pains of trading, to be honest, in that style. Every style is going to have its pains. Okay, let's go through pound USD. So, appreciate that, Bashi. If you guys are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. As for pound USD, again, it's another market which is trading at such an awkward situation, awkward level. I wouldn't look to do anything here, to be honest. Would I like to buy? No. I mean, I can see we're at support, so there's sense there in the buy, but do I have any advantage buying there? Not really. It's not like momentum's been pretty bullish. It has been, but it's been stagnant for quite some time now. There has been some consistency with the lower highs, but even with this lower high, it hasn't even managed to make new lows. So it's not like, you know, bearish structure is performing really well at the moment either. So it's just a lot of contradiction here, a lot of sideways, no conviction from the bears or bulls. And with such a big news event coming up in the next 24 hours, it's probably best to wait for that event to come and go, settle, and then look for opportunities, you know, following that, if there are any. But yeah, pound, I don't really have much to say on this one. I think if you are trading pound, you want to keep it very short and sweet, because direction is not really an advantage right now. Okay, we'll go through the Dow Jones and take a look at Aussie dollar. So Dow Jones looking extremely bullish. Looks like indices are loving life right now. DAX starting to pick up momentum. FTSE ready, looking really bullish. I think the major US indices still pointing up. So yeah, stock market loving life right now. And yeah, looking really good. I did talk about the retest of this level coming into the week, but we've had a gap and prices now just continued. So I'll just keep it intraday, because of course we're trading at new all-time highs. There's always that risk that we might get another big pullback. You know, every time, you know, price does sweep at all-time high, we get a bigger pullback, bigger pullback, bigger pullback, bigger pullback. You know, is that going to happen soon? Potentially. So, you know, this area is still at play, but we might still see like an intraday move or two that will create new highs before that pullback does happen. So this is turning into be a bit more of a swing idea. You know, if price does continue to rip, then has that pullback, this could be a nice area for a swing trade back to wherever the high forms. In terms of intraday, just buying, you know, buying the highs essentially and just taking advantage of current momentum, you're kind of looking for, you know, break and retest like this and looking for the higher lows there. You probably want to drop to like a 15 to really take advantage of that in terms of risk to reward. I mean, I've already had a nice break and retest there actually. So yeah, for US 30, I'll just scale right down, look for smaller pullbacks along the way, because there's so much momentum right now in the market, and that's the best way to take advantage of it. If you are looking for a bigger swing, there are opportunities, but you're going to have to be patient for that as well. In terms of Aussie dollar, so yeah, I've talked about push back to this zone for a short. Now, Aussie dollar is very stagnant as well. A lot of the USD pairs are stagnant. So you're going to have to mend your trading to fit that nature. Just like when things are trending well, you want to fit yourself to that nature, or just pick a style and stick with it. But if you want to, take advantage of different conditions, you're going to have to change with it as well. And Aussie dollar right now is a very choppy condition. So what that means is not looking to push targets as far. And number two, you're looking for like the more key areas, the more extremes of the highs and lows, rather than trying to be in the middle where all the noise is. So with Aussie dollar, I'm looking at this level here, really key resistance, gave us a big move. Looking at this as a bit of a fake out of that same level. I'm looking to see if we can come back to retest it, but also retest this nice area of demand, which gave us a really convincing move down. So I do like the shorts around here, but it's not a case where I'm looking for a swing like this. I mean, I probably will actually hold a decent one. I'll probably take most of my profit fairly soon, but I probably will hold at least a third to try and see if I can push the lows, because I always like to try to maximize my wins. But I know that in these conditions, I'm not high probability. I'm not positioned well to do that. So I like the shorts over here for Aussie dollar, coming back to a key level, big area of supply, good chance we react, just not a good chance we see any real follow through. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, but I wouldn't necessarily try and bank on that. So Aussie's looking pretty bullish here. There might even be like a short-term break and retest of this level here, to consider. But I'm liking the shorts up here for a move back down, and we'll see how far we can take it. But altogether, extremely flat, so not looking for like any major swing here. Appreciate it, Bashi. About gold buys, I got missed. Yeah, I think I did. But did it miss your entry? Oh, you were dog sitting. Is that what you missed the trade? Damn. That's a unique situation there. GJ not looking good, to be honest. Momentum has shifted against me. Price is back up my entry. I have reduced risk, though. If it does stop me out, I'm only losing like 0.25 of what I did risk to the trade. My original stop loss was under here. But yeah, it just lacked conviction on the high here. We had a nice break of structure, and then I was kind of looking for that to start pushing. But we had a lot of stagnant moves, and then suddenly woke up this morning, a lot of pound weakness, yen looking quite strong, and pound yen did drop pretty hard there. So I'll let the price take me out if it needs to. It might turn around, but I don't have much control over the market right now. But I am looking for re-entries should the market keep falling back to the low here at 200.6, and I'll see what I can do there. Okay. Well, chalk it up onto the next 1 hour key area on gold. Are we still looking for the buy? Specific GJ with the pound inflation. Yeah, pound's weakened off that. I was hoping the yen weakness will be the dominant factor with this trade, and it has been, to be honest, because pound hasn't been performing well. If you look at pound against euro, pound against Aussie, pound against NZD in the past week or two, pound against CAD as well, they've actually all been down. But the predominant factor with the yen pairs has been yen weakness being the dominant factor. It's just been weaker than most other currencies. So all the yen pairs have pushed up. So the pound weakness wasn't really too much of a worry. It was more so, can we maintain the yen weakness? And today we didn't. The yen gained some strength today, and of course accompanied with the pound weakness, giving us a big slip to the downside. Yes, we can take a look at BTC, LFTJ, no problem. Goes back for New maybe. Oh, long, okay. Again, only 110, no, but not one lot. Okay, just testing the waters there, Seabashi. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm pretty bearish in gold short term, so I'm not looking to buy. Of course, long term, I think we will pick up, but I'm not quite seeing a bottom just yet. Yeah, of course. Yeah, pound has been weak. It's not been. I mean, the past. I think since like Tuesday last week, pound hasn't been good. But the yen weakness has just been the dominant factor, which is why we've still seen pound yen rise. And since the yen has gained some strength today, we've had a big dip on pretty much all the yen pairs. And of course, pound, one of the bigger dips, with pound also being weak as well. Let's go take a look at BTC. So yeah, with Bitcoin, I like the way we did take out the range low there. Yeah, this is the range I'm looking at for BTC. Range high, range low. Price has managed to sweep the low, recovered, and now is looking pretty bullish beyond that as well. So now that we're coming more to the median of things, I'm kind of letting price do its thing, because now we're coming back to a bit more uncertainty. I mean, the overall picture for BTC is bullish, so again, you still want to be focusing on the longs here. We haven't done anything apart from just spike that low, so the market is still very, very bullish. But is this the best time to be looking to jump into longs? Well, maybe if you're very intraday, you can get away with it because you're not here for a long time. But if you're looking for a swing trade, that's the best place for it. We also did tap into a nice area of supply there, which was nice as well. Now as momentum picks up, maybe we do push to the opposite end, maybe we roll over at a high somewhere, I don't know. Now we're coming back more into uncertainty. So this is where I wouldn't do so much analysis for BTC or any market really. I'm also just be observing and just keeping up to date with price, because this is where opportunities lie. That's where opportunities lie, and beyond those areas, of course, too. Here, of course, maybe if you drop right down, you can look for some like really intraday pullbacks. And of course, I wouldn't say there's no opportunities here. There could still be an opportunity for a pushback to the high. Just that there's more uncertainty here, so I'll leave it alone. So yeah, I'm not really looking at anything for BTC because we're not just positioned well for it. I understand that momentum's picking up and we might start to trend like so. And it's not the worst trade in the world. It's just that I don't like the location. Let me know what you're looking at for BTC. Yeah, I mean, euro has been stronger than pound, so if you look at euro yen on the daily, it has had a better 2-3 days than well, since last week, to be honest. I think last week, where was last week? Was that last week? Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, so since last week we had a better rally. They're both pushed up. It's just euro yen's been a better move. But the reason why I didn't want to trade euro yen, because it was trading at a more sensitive area here, taking out such a major high, which is why I like pound yen, and I still do like pound yen because of it, is because pound yen hasn't taken out that high yet, and I would expect price to eventually go and do that. So for me, that creates opportunity. Yes, euro yen's been more bullish, but pound yen's still lagging behind. So I think I'm expecting the market to catch up and get to that high. So if it does come down, it just provides more opportunities for me to keep buying it. I wouldn't be so aggressive to trade it back there with one trade. The reason why I was being more aggressive because momentum picked up, but now clearly momentum hasn't picked up. So if I do catch a buy here, it'll be more so, trade it back to resistance, then maybe hold a little bit to run if it does, pick up well. Exactly. But the thing is, you can't get too caught up. I mean, it's a tricky situation because you want to change with it, but at the same time, you don't want to change too much because a lot of it is just noise. Because, you know, if I just put on like a line chart here, is that even the best way to measure it? I guess so. I mean, the predominant move has been, price has been going up, and that's the main focus really, especially if you're looking to follow trends and momentum. So there are going to be dips, there are going to be troughs, there are going to be times where price goes down and consolidates. So you do want to stay up to date with price because things do change. You want to change with it, but then again, you have a line in the sand where that change is noise or that change is real change. And a lot of people have different metrics for that. The simplest one and the easiest one to abide by is market structure, because it's so, you know, black and white. You know, you've got market making higher highs and higher lows, or it's not. You know, if it starts taking out lows, well, you know, that's something has changed there. So for me, market structure is very important, and in pound yen's case, this was the low that gave us the high. Now, it doesn't mean that I need price to break this for me to stop looking at buys. That's just like my hard invalidation zone. If price does take out that, then I know I'm definitely stopping the buys. I might decide to stop the buys earlier if I'm not liking momentum or time has continued quite long. So I could decide to be more cautious because of that. But at least market structure keeps me bullish or keeps me bearish. So you do want to have metrics that allow for change, because if you just keep the same mentality and keep buying something that just isn't going up, you're going to get burnt. So you do need to be able to change, but then equally so, you don't want to change it because of noise, because then you just be all over the place. I'm buying, I'm selling, I'm buying, so you don't even know what you're doing. Which is why high time frames are a really good piece of information, because high time frames provide you the bigger picture. It's a bit slower. You know, you can use lower time frame for execution, higher time frame for direction. It means that, okay, I'm not going to chop and change so much. Yes, I do have a stop loss on pound yen. It is 201.773. No, 782 is there. 201.782, just underneath this low here. I trail my stops underneath there to underneath there. I did that as we came into the week. Actually, no, I did that on Friday. So yeah, I mean, the risk has been reduced. So again, I'm not too troubled to take the small loss there. But my plan is very much, you know, still looking for the buys. If this doesn't play out, you know, I'm very much looking to get back in lower. All right, take care, Bashi. I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully, we'll catch you tomorrow. Let me take a look at some of the sentiment here, especially for dollar against dollar against euro. All right, take care, Bashi. Have a good one, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Okay, yeah, more people coming mixed. Retail positions growing short positions at current levels. Interesting. Trend negative due to ECB outrage. Okay, so I mean, the fact that people get more mixed means more indecision, and I mean, I'm very indecisive right now with euro. I'm not really looking to trade it, but a lot of people are having a short bias going into the news, which is interesting because if rates do cut, I'm not too sure if I'm expecting euro dollar to fall. I mean, it could drop on the news, which is why the news event itself is uncertain, because it doesn't really matter what the news is. You can still see price whip around either direction. So I don't know, we could see that happen. But in terms of shorting euro, I'm not liking that at all, really. Again, I can't see into the future. Maybe the market drops 1,000 pips, but looking at price action on the daily, I'm not seeing any reason to be looking for any meaningful shorts. Yes, intraday you can get away with it. Some short-term downside for the session, maybe even for the day. But anything longer than that, you're asking for some trouble. The fact that we've seen this high here not even get back to lows, and looks like it's forming a high low, is a bit of a red flag. There still is a slight uptrend to the market as well. There's not a lot of support to the downside here. So yeah, because of that, I'm gonna keep my cards very close to my chest. With a lot of the USD pairs, not even Euro, Pound USD in the same situation. I like Aussie because it's coming to a big level. But dollar CAD, dollar CAD does have a nice uptrend, and I can see logic for more upside here. But even you can see that we've become weakened. So if you're looking for buys for dollar CAD, I do think it makes sense. But you can see that the recent pullbacks we've had over here have been pretty minimal, very not steep. What's the opposite of steep? Shallow. Very shallow pullbacks, which indicate a lot of momentum. A steeper pullback here, but again, still a lot of momentum on the break, still a lot of momentum on the break, and then suddenly we've got this exaggerated pullback, which is going on for quite some time. So there's quite a difference between price action here, price action back over there. So the momentum we've seen here has clearly shifted. Now, price generally could be having a pullback to eventually continue to highs and beyond that. But I wouldn't be as confident trying to predict this continuation versus trying to predict either one of these, because conditions are different. Momentum's a lot higher, pullbacks are shallower, which illustrate that buys are still very much in control. In this case, we're seeing a slightly deeper pullback. It's going on for longer, 3, 4, 5 times as long. It generally could be a situation where price is actually looking to slowly reverse. So I do think short-term buys make sense for dollar CAD, because again, you do have that uptrend in the higher time frames. Looks like price is pulling back into some structure here. There is that logic for a bit of a bounce, and we are quite flat, and this support level is doing pretty well. So you might get away with something like this, but that's about it. I wouldn't try and take the trade further than that. And if I was going to, I'll take most of my profit here, lock in my risk, and then see if I can maybe capitalize on a big breakout or runner. But I wouldn't bank on price getting there, because probability is not in my favor. So dollar CAD is probably your trendiest USD pair right now, and then other USD pairs, dollar CHF as well. This one hasn't been performing too well, quite flat, fading at lows here. Even this last move didn't quite see enough to get to lows there. So again, you still do want to be predominantly a bear, but you want to be more patient with your shorts. You want to focus your shorts more at the extremes. You don't want to be looking for big moves with the shorts, betting on a push to this low, because conditions aren't favoring that right now. You've had a really aggressive move down recently. Even that aggressive move didn't even get back to lows. So you don't want to be too confident trying to predict that low. What you can do is you look for the shorter term moves. Let's say we push back into resistance. If we do reject it well, there's a decent chance you do get a push back to recent lows, maybe this low here as well. But a move there is a little bit more optimistic. And again, nothing wrong with that, looking for the bigger winners. But as long as you're prepared for the fact that probability will most likely go against you, and it's going to be more of a rarity for price to see that bigger move. Because the thing is, when conditions are good and there's a lot of momentum in the market, like we're spilling over here, you can push trades further. You can see you had a nice pullback there, and the market did rip to the downside. There's a lot of momentum there, but clearly that momentum has died out since then. Now we're failing at lows. Is this a market which is getting ready to reverse? It could be, but I do want to see price start to break structure. If it does something like that, then yeah, I can bet on more upside. So that's why, to me, I'm being very, very patient with USD pairs, because it looks like I mean, dollar CHF price action is pretty much the same as the DXY, really. A bit more range bound for the DXY. So yeah, not trying to play the USD pairs. No certainty with the dollar, especially going to major news tomorrow. I feel like big players are waiting for that. Taking out positions of the market, waiting for the news outcome, then adding positions back on, and hopefully after that we'll have a bit more certainty with direction. No certainty for me right now. Which is why I've been focusing more on the yen pairs, because again, nothing's certain. Certain's probably not the best word to be using. Probability is a better word. I mean, but the thing is, probability of this continuing higher is a lot higher. Yeah, it's still a very healthy trend. Even pound yen's case, even the momentum we're seeing today, you know, generally speaking, still a very consistent uptrend. We've recently seen a really aggressive break of the highs there. Yeah, this is a market which I can be a bit more confident betting on the continuation. Likewise with euro yen as well. More confident on the continuation, more of a convincing uptrend, which is why my focus is more yen pairs this week. And Swiss pairs as well, looking to the downside. I do think there's momentum there, but a lot of the Swiss pairs are all-time lows, so that's why I'm a bit more apprehensive shorting them, because I've always have a kind of expectation that we're going to have that bigger pullback on the Swiss. Whereas I know pound yen's nowhere near all-time highs, euro yen's not near all-time highs. It's taken out a big high, but it's not all-time highs. I know Swiss yen's at all-time highs, so being a bit more cautious there. But again, you can still walk away with a decent swing, before price does reverse. And then you've got a lot of the crosses, which are some in no man's land. I'm keeping a close eye on pound CAD and euro CAD. These guys could look to reverse, and there could be some magnificent moves down. You know, pound CAD swept the highs here. Really looking very, very, very tired right now. And to me, this is a market which could be getting ready for a bit of a drop. And if it does, I'm trying to make sure I'm there to trade it. But I'm going to use the daily to gauge that. I want to see the daily break structure. I want to see sustained bearish momentum. I want to see pullbacks, continuation. Then yeah, I'll look for my opportunities. Same thing with Euro CAD as well. Look where we're trading. Massive highs. Ain't been above that since 2009. Price looking really corrective here. If we do break structure, there's a good chance we're going to have a pretty big correction. So Euro CAD and pound CAD. I mean, again, the breakout could be a situation as well. You know, the breakouts could be legit, and maybe price does continue. But I'll wait for price to give me that new life in terms of, okay, another strong move. Okay, I can be a bit more confident buying that, or break of structure, be confident selling it. At the moment, we are respecting lows pretty well. I wouldn't say the price action is really convincing here though. But for now, we are still above support. Do you have a fav pair? I do. I do have a favorite pair. It's pound yen, which funny enough I'm trading. It's one of my more traded pairs and one of my better performing markets to trade. And more so because of the consistency of bigger winners. It's not that my win rate is crazy high with pound yen. It's just that when I'm looking for bigger targets, I achieve bigger targets more on pound yen than pretty much any other pair. And because again, it's quite expansive, it's in that nature of pound yen, it has those big moves. So if I'm looking for like a 5-to-1 on pound yen, I'm going to find it a lot easier to do that versus a 5-to-1 in euro dollar. Euro dollar might get to 1 to 3, then start to stagnate and reverse. Pound yen will give me that extra kick to actually go and hit that 5. So yeah, it's not that I'm just right all the time with pound yen, but it does give a nice punch. Yeah, to me, better performing pairs are, if like you're going to group them, it would be the USD majors. USD majors are my more profitable markets. It's like pound yen at the top, then like pound dollar, euro dollar, Aussie dollar, and then a lot of the crosses just lag behind a little bit. But I always focus in terms of opportunity, especially when you're trading more so in the 4 hour. I mean, I'm a bit more intraday now, but when I was focusing more on the 4 hour time frame, I can't just focus on like 6-7 pairs, because if I did that, I'd probably have like 6-7 trades a year. So yeah, unless you're going to be full margin every trade, you're not going to make much money. So I do trade a lot of markets, and I know which markets are a little bit more profitable than others. So I do try and play into that. But yeah, pound yen definitely my favorite pair. Exactly, good movement. And the thing is, gold has that too, but I'm not as profitable on gold either. To be honest, I don't trade gold that much, so the sample size is not as big as it is with pound yen. But gold's another market which does give you those bigger winners, but I'm not as profitable on gold as for pound yen. I think it's because most of my career I've been on the FX markets, so I'm very used to the FX markets. I've only started trading gold and silver probably, I think maybe 3.5 years ago. So I mean, still a long time, but I'm a lot newer to gold and silver than I am to FX pairs. A lot more experience. So yeah, because of that, I feel like they're lagging behind. But yeah, to be honest, one of my big misses this year was going heavy on gold, because coming into the year I was trading the 4 hour chart. I've only started to incorporate more intraday entries for the past month and a half. But yeah, for the past few years I've just been focusing 4 hour entries, and I normally look at pretty deep pullbacks, because especially in FX where you don't normally see very consistent uptrends, you normally look for deeper pullbacks. So with gold's trend, I've always been looking for deeper pullbacks, but of course you just haven't really seen it because of how aggressive gold's been in the breakout. So I've missed a lot of intraday pullbacks on gold, and just because of how consistent the uptrend has been, it's been extremely profitable. You don't really need to have a crazy pullback strategy, just literally buying break and retest, pullbacks into trend lines, pullbacks into moving averages has been a very, very profitable strategy for gold the past few months here with the breakouts in September, but then even before that, the previous wave there as well in 2025. Of course, here you'd be giving back profits if you had the same strategy, but the breakout has been super profitable. So one of my big lessons from this year is having that flexibility to be a bit more aggressive when the time does fit the when it does make sense to. I can be a bit more aggressive, but never as aggressive as this gold trend has been. See, loco, yeah, it is a little bit more loco. I mean, it doesn't move like an FX pair. The characteristics are a bit different. It's still technicals, still add up, but the characteristics are different. So you have to be able to adapt to that. And if you're wanting to trade gold, but you're a little bit apprehensive about trading it, just cut risk all the way down. You just even put, if you're normally risking, let's say $100, you're risking literally like 10. That way, if you do lose, there's no skin off the game. But then again, you get a little bit of a taste for it. Because I do think it's a very lucrative market if you can trade it well. I mean, it has been. The fact that we've seen such an expansive breakout, if you timed your entries very well, a lot of people would have made very nice profit from just trading gold alone. So, you know, because of that, I do think it's something to really invest and try and work up to. But of course, it's going to take time, especially if you're not used to it. So I do recommend giving it a go, reduce some risk, even trading demo for a bit, and then trading live. And same with his counterpart, silver. Not as aggressive as gold, but still can be equally aggressive on its day. Sometimes lags a little bit with gold, but still can be very fruitful as well, especially with this move here. But the thing is, we've missed this cycle. You know, this cycle's done. We had the cycle over here, then you got this as another cycle, then you got this as another cycle. This cycle's done. It might still have a little bit of life in it, but the meat of the move is over. We're now going to get a bigger cycle at some point, and this is going to be the next opportunity. Same with gold as well. Just gold's been a lot more expansive, but if I put this in the log chart, you'll see it a little bit better. So again, these are the cycles. Big push, that's your pullback, then that's your next cycle, that's your next cycle, that's your next cycle, and then at some point, want to get another one of these, and another up move probably. So yeah, when that time does come in the next probably couple of years, maybe more than that, to be honest, you want to be there to take advantage of it. But of course, this cycle's not over yet. You know, well, we don't necessarily know if it's over yet or not. You know, this could still just be still more upside. So we still want to be there to see if we can take advantage of that. But when the next big pullback happens, yeah, I want to be positioned well for that. Good question. What's the latest thing I've learned in the markets? Well, the big lesson from this year is adaptability. I know that as a lesson. I've known that for years, but being really adaptable to the nature of the market is something I've learned in terms of really pushing it when you need to and really backing away when you need to. So a big lesson has been with what the gold has done, because again, I'm always looking for my bigger pullbacks. That's normally my style. Of course, that hasn't been fruitful for gold. The people who look for aggressive pullbacks, you know, they're definitely taking their fair share and a lot more. So a big lesson for me has identify the nature of the market and then mold your strategy to the nature and be consistent with analyzing the nature of the market and then tweaking when you need to. That's a big mouthful. Let me summarize that better. Okay, have something in place. So say, for example, you follow trends and pound USD is trending well. Have something in place where it will spot when the trend, the nature of the trend has changed. Either it's more aggressive or it's less aggressive. And then have something in your plan that will tell you to do something with your trade. Either be more aggressive, increase risk, decrease risk, hold for bigger targets, take partials earlier. Having that is it's an edge within itself, because we're all trading the same market, but having that edge within your edge can be a huge separation, because the pullbacks we've seen here for gold, you don't need to be Einstein to trade them. A lot of break and retest, a lot of pullbacks into trend lines, moving averages even. So it's not that the pullbacks have been difficult to trade, it's just because the nature's been so aggressively bullish, you've had to be bullish too. And if you could spot that early and then take advantage of that, you would have taken advantage of gold. I failed to do that, so that's kind of my lesson. But then again, things are going to change, and we're getting some signs things are changing now. You know, price is no longer in this super aggressive uptrend. So the people who have been looking to buy pullbacks on moving averages and trend lines, yeah, they will be giving money back now. Now you're going to have a different game plan. So spotting that early is a big lesson. And I'll say focusing on that, really trying to embed that in your plan, has been a big lesson this year. because it's not necessarily something new that I've learned. I've understood that before, but this year's pointed out in a bigger way, and there's room to improve in that department. Yeah, adapting is big. Adapting is big. Anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. Oh, wrong one. I'm still in the pound yen position. I'll keep you guys updated with how that goes. Of course, I'll be live again tomorrow, so we'll sum it up there. And if I do get into any new trades, I'll let you guys know as well. But at the moment, I'm still very much bullish on the yen pair. So my task this week is still looking to buy them. USD staying away. We've got a big news event tomorrow, so I feel like just give the markets that time to have their fun with the news, and then probably Thursday onwards we can look to tackle that with a bit more certainty or a bit more confidence. As for the yen, until we start to break structure, I'm going to keep looking to buy these, of course, within reason. Any good opportunities, but everything is still pointing up, and I will hold that pound yen position until my stop loss, or of course we pick up momentum. So I'll let you guys know. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a good time with myself. If that's the case, drop a like, and of course subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will be live again tomorrow, as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're free, pop in, come say hi. I appreciate everyone tuning in. And of course, if you have enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe, all that, and check out the channel memberships. If you do want some added perks, members only videos, trade signals, do check it out if you are interested. But guys, have a great day. Big day tomorrow. Yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on, especially in terms of risk. But yeah, guys, appreciate you coming onto the stream. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.
Six AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.